Now, if you've clicked on my thumbnail and an appropriate title, which I haven't invented yet, you'd probably be saying, well, what sort of wood is that? Well, that's going to make it two of us, because this piece of wood, looking at the grain structure, looking at the age of the outside, it was attached to a very large piece of oak burl, which was used, and this was the offcut. Thought I would believe this was a piece of oak, but at the end of the day it's got a lot of spalting, and the rings are extremely wide, I think 1/4 inch rings. That gave me a bit of curry on the first project, because the wider the rings, the more aggressive they are in terms of the finish. Anyway, I'm going to make this into a nice looking bowl with this highlighting the rings, and whatever's covered under here we'll never know until we get put onto the lathe. So follow me in this one, guys. As you see, I've got it mounted between centres, which is my normal kickoff, and both sides you can see. I want to keep as much of this material as I possibly can, because if I try to make it just a generic type bowl, then we're going to end up with maybe, I don't know, a 6-inch diameter. So I'm going to keep most of the naturalness of this piece of wood. Now, I think many of you will agree with me that it's looking pretty nasty on the back here. It's very dark and chunky, it's got deviates, and you know what, I'm liking it a lot. I'm going to leave it as it possibly can. So I'll get a wire brush on the end of the drill and just neaten all this outside up and see how it comes. Look, you know, with wood turn you can always change your mind at any time. This is definitely bringing out some character, and I really want to keep as much as I possibly can of this piece of wood. It's been drying out now for almost 3 years under the bench there, like most of my pieces are under the bench, and I do remember having those situations with the grain on the inside, so we'll turn that on the inside later, but let's get the outside looking pleasant. Just using the maze indexing feature to hold this tight in the chuck. And I've just got a, you know, normal wire brush just to get rid of some of this darkness. Stick with me on that one. So that's the outside of the bowl. Certainly not going to touch this with any sort of bowl gouge on the outside, leaving it as el natural, as a feature for this particular piece. Now I'm going to take the inside of the bowl for as deep as I possibly can, and there'll be quite a cut here, and then there's a dip here, so this will probably be turned out to the depth of the bowl, but leaving behind these pieces. You'll get what I mean once you get a little bit closer. So you can see here the inside of the bowl is just about as smooth as it's going to get. Going to get onto the sanding job now, bring it up to about 320 grit. For this particular bowl I'm going to use just a standard Acks paste and polish after putting some sanding sealer on this surface and that after a sanding. Then on the outside I'm going to use a matte poly finish just to get into the nooks and crannies, because this is something you really can't apply Acks or any other types of polish because there's too many grooves in the outside. So watch me as I just finish off to the end, and then we'll tip it over and get rid of the tenon on the bottom and see where we are from there. Piece has been turned around and mounted on the friction chuck. You can see here there's a little bit of, I guess it's moisture and the poly reacting a little bit. It's got a bit of a white tinge to the poly. So I'm probably going to take the bottom of take the tenon off the bottom there, I should say, get it all flat, and I'll attach. Probably might give it 2-3 more coats over the top. It does seem to disappear once the fresh poly goes over. We'll see. Final piece or project finished. So the inside came out pretty well, just using the Acks paste and polish for that. Then on the outside, El Naturel is now covered with a matte poly. I use Gidday, which is quite a very nice finish. Maker's badge on the bottom as usual. That sits nice and flat on top of the tabletop, and it all came out looking pretty well. In fact, put that onto the dining room table just a minute ago, and it looks really nice to have that sitting up as a natural piece of wood. So comments below, guys, see if you can guess what type of wood this is. I thought it was an oak burl, but I'm not so sure as I was turning it, so the jury's out at this stage. Appreciate you giving us some feedback. Thank you very much, guys, for this week's project. Till next week. Cheers.